Well, hello everyone, and welcome to today's presentation, Auditing in the Wild, what nature can teach us about being a great auditor. I'm Mike Richmond, your host for Exemplar Global's Online Auditor Expo. This session today is presented by Kelly Rusbatch. Kelly is the founder and director of Adaptable Quality, as well as an Exemplar Global-certified ISO 9001 lead auditor. In this presentation, Kelly's going to take a look at the skills that management system standard auditors can pick up from the natural world. So Kelly, thanks for joining us here at the Expo.
Thank you, Mike.
Looking forward to it.
Great. I'll jump right in. Hi, everyone. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here at the Online Auditor Expo. Today, I'm going to be sharing a unique perspective on what makes a great auditor and how we can learn from the natural world around us. So as Mike kindly introduced, I am Kelly Rusbatch, and I've been working with ISO systems and compliance for over 25 years. I've had the privilege of working across various industries, from medical and veterinary sciences, automation, mining, and defense. And with such a diverse background, I gained a very deep understanding and appreciation for the similarities that exist across these varied sectors when it comes to auditing. And believe me, whether we're dealing with complex systems in healthcare or intricate processes in mining, nature has some very key lessons that we can apply. So here's the big idea for today. While we all have our individual experiences in auditing, and they may differ across our industries, our geography, and cultural context, there's a universal thread that connects all of us. And that thread is the consistency and wisdom found in nature. Whether we are assessing a manufacturing process or evaluating financial controls or ensuring compliance in a healthcare setting, the principles that define an outstanding auditor, and they're strikingly similar to those that drive resilience and successful life in the natural world. Nature tends to operate on three key principles: observation, adaptability, and collaboration. And these same principles share and shape the foundation of exceptional auditing. So, observation. In nature, survival depends on keen track changes and detect risks in their environment. Auditors do the same. We are trained to recognize subtle inconsistencies and identify potential risks before they escalate and discern patterns that may not be immediately obvious. The ability to truly see beyond the surface, beyond the checklist, is what distinguishes a great auditor from a good one. Nature favors those who evolve. The most resilient species are those that can adjust to new challenges, whether it be a shift in climate or a changing food source. Auditors too. They must be adaptable. Standards evolve, industries innovate, and businesses undergo transformations. Rigid, formulaic auditing will never match the energy of modern organizations. Instead, we must develop the ability to navigate change with confidence, leveraging our new technologies, refining our methodologies, and maintaining a professional agility. If we look at ecosystems, we know no species thrives in isolation, remembering back to our science classes at school. The same is true for auditing. The most impactful audits come from meaningful collaboration with clients, colleagues, industry peers. And it's not just about identifying non-conformities, it's about fostering continuous improvement and sharing knowledge and building trust within these organizations. Effective auditors create an environment where compliance and quality aren't just enforced but embraced. These three elements, observation, adaptability, and collaboration, work together to refine and elevate our auditing skills. They enable us not to only detect gaps, but to bridge them, to not only ensure compliance, but to drive excellence. Henry Ford is my favorite. He once said, quality means doing it right when no one is looking. But I'd argue that quality also means ensuring that everyone, from leadership to frontline employees, understands, values, and upholds those principles of excellence, even when no auditor is present. As we move forward in our profession, let's take some inspiration from the natural world. Let's refine our ability to observe deeply, adapt intelligently, and collaborate meaningfully, because that's what's going to sustain the future of auditing. Building on that idea that nature and auditing share fundamental principles, let's take a closer look at the creatures that thrive in their ecosystems and how their survival strategies parallel the skills of an effective auditor. Just like a lion meticulously assesses its surroundings before making a move, auditors must evaluate risks, identify patterns, and anticipate potential issues before they escalate. A predator doesn't charge blindly. It observes, calculates, strategically positions itself. Likewise, auditors must rely on a keen observation, critical thinking to navigate complex environments and make some informed decisions. If we look at, say, the octopus, his adaptability is he's a master of change. He can camouflage itself in an instant, adapting to new surroundings. Auditors have to demonstrate that same ability to adjust, whether it's just shifting regulatory landscapes, emerging risks, or diverse organizational cultures. The most effective auditors are those that can just seamlessly integrate between those different environments, maintaining their core purpose. Ants are a favorite of mine. The ants collaboration. They don't work alone, they communicate, they coordinate, they construct very intricate systems and that sustain an entire colony. In auditing, collaboration is just as essential. No audit is conducted in isolation. Success comes from engaging the stakeholders, sharing knowledge, and working towards that common goal of continuous improvement. Strong auditors don't just identify the issues, they know how solutions can be built around those. Nature operates with a built-in efficiency. It's not merely about surviving. It's about adapting and thriving in ever-changing conditions. And just like in nature, the most successful auditors are those who observe, adapt, and collaborate to create lasting impact. This mindset doesn't just make audits more effective, it transforms them into opportunities for real growth and resilience within the organizations you are helping and auditing. One of the key traits we need as auditors is sharp observation. And there's no better example than the good old owl. Owls are renowned for their keen eyesight and acute attention to detail. They can spot a mouse in the near total darkness, distinguishing movement patterns that other creatures would overlook. In much the same way, auditors develop the ability to observe things others might miss, whether it's just a minor inconsistency in records or a subtle shift in a production process or a gap in a management system. So observation is more than just seeing. It's about looking at data. It's about noticing patterns, interpreting evidence, making connections. An actual example for you, if we look at clause 9.2 of the 9001 standard, it outlines that importance of conducting audits to provide information on whether the quality management system conforms to the requirements and is effectively implemented and maintained. And this means that as auditors, we're not just checking for compliance, we're analyzing how well a system functions and whether it does actually support continual improvement. Auditors operate on the principle of evidence-based decision-making, which is a key component for our guidelines for auditing management systems. We have to have audit evidence that should be verifiable, objective, based on fact, not assumptions or our personal judgment. And this reinforces why sharp observation is critical. It ensures that we are basing any of our findings on objective data and meaningful insights rather than just surface level compliance. So imagine you're reviewing documentation for an audit. The difference between an experienced auditor and perhaps a less experienced auditor could be spotting a small inconsistency, perhaps missing an approval signature or a deviation in recorded process times or an anomaly in inventory data. On the surface, it might seem minor, but with keen observation, it could actually reveal a systemic issue or a breakdown in some internal controls or a compliance risk or an efficiency gap. So we need to think about turning these observations into impact. So if we pause for a moment, think about your own experiences. Has there been a time where your sharp observation skills made all the difference in an audit? Maybe you just caught on to something that they had overlooked, or perhaps you noticed a subtle change and that led to a major discovery. How do you train yourself to see beyond that obvious? What techniques do you use to identify hidden risks and opportunities? How do you ensure your findings are leading to meaningful improvements rather than just corrective actions? Just as an owl relies on its sharp vision to navigate the night, auditors rely on systematic observation, evidence-based assessment, and analytical thinking to guide organizations towards better performance, stronger compliance, and continual growth. The best auditors don't just see what's in front of them, they understand what it means. So if observation is our foundation, then adaptability would be our survival skill. And who better to represent adaptability than the chameleon? Chameleons are a master of change, effortlessly blending into different environments. As auditors, we must do the same. We move between industries and navigate diverse company cultures and adjust to ever-evolving audit conditions. Just like the chameleon, our success depends on our ability to remain flexible and responsive to our surroundings. Auditors don't operate in a vacuum. We engage with our organizations of different sizes and structures and levels of maturity. Clause 9.2, 9001, emphasizes that audits should be planned and conducted based on the importance of the process being audited, the status of that process, and previous audit results. This means our approach can't be one size fits all. We need to tailor our methods to each situation. A key part of adaptability is recognizing that the way we communicate and ask our questions must change depending on who we're talking to. When speaking with an executive, we might focus on strategic objectives and risk management. When auditing frontline employees, we may need to simplify our technical language and use open-ended questions to get genuine insights. When we may be dealing with a highly structured organization, a methodical approach seems to work best. What about you? But in a more informal company, conversation style might yield better results for you. Imagine stepping in to an organization, and I'm sure we've all been there, with a very defensive culture. Employees already feel scrutinized, and management is very wary of external evaluation. If an auditor walks in with a very rigid, aggressive approach, they will face resistance. They will get guarded answers and they will struggle to extract any meaningful insights. But an adaptive auditor reads the room. They adjust their tone. They modify their questioning style. They build rapport. By doing so, they disarm resistance, they gain trust, and they uncover deeper truths about the organization's operations. If we think about risk-based auditing, specifically in clause 5.4 of our auditing guidelines, it highlights the need for auditors to take that risk-based approach. It ensures audits remain relevant and insightful, even in uncertain or complex environments. Adaptability is at the core of this, whether it's adjusting audit scope due to time constraints or shifting focus when a new risk emerges, or modifying your interview technique based on the responses that you're receiving. Just as the chameleon thrives by blending into its surroundings without losing its identity, auditors must be flexible without compromising objectivity or independence. Adaptability is not about changing our principles. It's about adjusting our approach to be more effective. So think about your own experiences. Have you ever had to change your audit approach mid-audit to get some better results? Or what techniques did you use to break through the resistance in an organization? How do you balance flexibility with maintaining your audit integrity? The best auditors I know are the ones that can read the environment, shift their strategies, and maintain credibility, all while ensuring the audit can deliver value. Adaptability isn't about reacting to different environments. It's about adjusting how we interact with people. One of the most critical ways we demonstrate adaptability as auditors is through our communication style. The art of tailoring conversations. Not everyone responds the same way to questioning, and a rigid approach can limit the depth of insights we might uncover. The way we communicate with a hesitant frontline worker will be entirely different how we engage with a confident executive. In our auditing guidelines, in clause 7, it emphasizes the importance of effective communication during an audit, ensuring that the right questioning techniques, listening skills, and engagement strategies are used to gather objective evidence. Here's an example for you about reading the room. Imagine you're conducting an audit at a manufacturing company. You have back-to-back interviews scheduled. So interview 1, a junior employee on the production floor. This worker is new, hesitant, worried about saying the wrong thing. If you take a formal high-pressure approach, you're likely to get short, cautious answers. Not because they're hiding anything, but because they're unsure of what's expected. Instead, try using an open-ended question, conversational tone, and reassurance. Create that comfortable space for them to share their observations. Perhaps you're interviewing the operations manager. Your next interview. This person, confident, experienced, knows deeply about what's going on in their business, about process efficiency and compliance risks. A gentle, open-ended approach may not get you to the core of those critical insights that efficiently. Here you might need to adapt and be more direct, strategic, use the strategic language that he or she is speaking back to you, and focus on high-level risks and improvements. Why does that matter? Well, I think it matters because auditors don't just ask questions. They adjust how they ask questions to get the most accurate, meaningful insights. And this adaptability ensures that all of the voices are heard, not just the loudest or the most confident, leading to a more complete and accurate audit outcome. And the best auditors I know read the room, and they modify their approach, not to manipulate, but to create the conditions required for a truthful, open discussion. Have you ever had to change your questioning style to get better engagement from an auditee? How do you make sure that nervous employee feels comfortable enough to share some honest feedback with you? And what techniques do you use to shift between technical discussions and strategic conversations? Great auditing isn't always about asking the right questions. It's about asking them in the right way. So if observation sharpens our focus and adaptability allows us to navigate different environments, then collaboration is what brings everything together. And who better to embody collaboration than the bee? Bees thrive because of their structured teamwork and precise communication. They work seamlessly within their hive, ensuring that every task, from gathering nectar to protecting the colony, is carried out efficiently. A well-run audit depends on clear communication, defined roles, and strong teamwork. The ISO standards emphasize the importance of clear and structured communication in auditing, ensuring that findings are accurate and actionable. In our auditing guidelines in Clause 6, it's highlighted that audit teams, coordination, role distribution, and reporting are essential for an effective audit process. Opening and closing meetings. Just as bees work with a shared understanding of their goal, an audit starts with an effective opening meeting to align expectations. The closing meeting ensures that everyone walks away with a clear picture of those audit findings and their next steps. Coordinating audit team efforts. In a hive, different bees have specialized roles: workers, scouts, guards, and they communicate constantly to ensure efficiency. Likewise, a successful audit team thrives on strong coordination. One team member may review documentation, another may conduct the interviews, a third may analyze processes on site. Without clear communication, critical details could be overlooked, leading to gaps in findings and inaccurate conclusions. Just like bees working together toward a common goal, auditors must collaborate with stakeholders to ensure compliance and drive improvement. Imagine an audit scenario where team members fail to share their findings. The document reviewer notices inconsistencies in training records. The process auditor identifies some misalignment in actual work practices. But if they don't connect those dots, they miss a systemic issue. And by sharing insights and working together, the audit team can uncover root causes and drive real improvements, just as bees collectively build a strong, resilient hive. So what does this mean for auditors? How do you ensure strong communication in your audit teams? Have you ever experienced a situation where collaboration made all of the difference in uncovering a key issue? And how do you balance independent assessments with team-based collaboration? Just like bees thrive by working as a unit, the best auditors recognize that an audit isn't just about their individual expertise. It's how well the team works together. A great auditor, much like a bee in a well-functioning hive, understands that clear and efficient communication is a key to success. While auditors aren't responsible for implementing solutions, we play a crucial role in structuring the feedback in a way that encourages meaningful action. How do we bring that structure to our findings? If we look in our auditing guidelines in Clause 6, it highlights the importance of reporting audit findings in a clear, concise, and constructive manner. Findings should not just identify the gaps, but provide some insight into the impact and potential improvement opportunities. Well-organized audit meetings and reports create stakeholder buy-in, ensuring that findings can lead to actual improvements. The vague and unstructured reports lead to confusion, inaction, or even resistance to very necessary changes. So imagine conducting an audit at a logistics company. During assessment, you discover temperature logs for refrigerated storage are incomplete. You simply state, temperature records are missing. The response may be, okay, but it's not a big deal. We just check them manually. However, if you frame it in a clear and structured way, emphasizing risk and impact, without complete temperature records, there is no way to verify whether the perishable goods have been stored correctly. This could lead to compliance breaches, financial losses, or even safety risks. The response now might be, we need to fix this. Let's get something automated. Let's get automated logging. Let's ensure our accountability for our record keeping. So how do you structure your audit findings to encourage action? Have you ever seen the difference between clear and unclear reporting in the real world? Have you seen the impact of that? What techniques do you use to ensure stakeholders understand and act on your findings? Just like a bee's efficient communication supports the hive's success, an auditor's ability to deliver structured, impactful findings is what transforms an audit from a compliance check into a driver of improvement. As we start to wrap up, let's reflect on how we can embody these 3 animal archetypes in our auditing practice. With the owl, we sharpen our observation skills. Are there details you might be overlooking? What patterns can you recognize that others may miss? Strong observation leads to deeper insights. The chameleon, adapt your approach. How can you adjust your style to be better engaged with different individuals and environments? Flexibility is key to navigating challenges and gaining trust. Now, friend the bee. Communicate, collaborate effectively. Are your audit findings clear? Are they actionable? How can you foster stronger teamwork to drive meaningful outcomes with your auditing team? Take a moment now to consider which of these skills could you strengthen in your own auditing practice. Is it your observation ability, your adaptation, your communication? None of the above. My final thoughts on these beautiful examples from nature is that nature teaches us that success comes from mastering our environment. The more that we can refine our ability to observe, adapt, and collaborate, the more we will thrive as auditors. Thank you for your time today. And I hope this session has given you a fresh perspective, perhaps a reminder on how auditing can be as dynamic and adaptable as the natural world around us. Sometimes it's easy to get bogged down in standards and the hard skills and forget about these soft skills that we all have. Take these lessons into your next audit. Keep them in the back of your mind. And remember that the best auditors evolve with their environments. I wish you all success in your auditing journeys. May you continue to grow, adapt, and thrive. And thank you, Mike, for having me.
Well, thank you, Kelly Rusbatch, for that really insightful presentation on what auditors can learn from the natural world. Really good stuff. Thank you for that, Kelly. Good job. So those of you that are watching right now on demand, if you'd like to ask Kelly questions, you can do so via email. You can write us at info@exemplarglobal.org, and we'll get your questions right over to Kelly, and I'm sure she'll get right back to you with her answers. But another factor is that Kelly's going to join us in our live panel that we're going to have at the end of the expo. So keep your eye on your email inbox for how you can register for that, and you can ask Kelly questions if you'd like to, right at our live session coming up at the end of the expo. So again, keep your eyes open for your email inbox and you'll get information about how to register. Don't forget to claim your CPD for this session as well as the other sessions at the expo. We have a lot of great sessions for you, so go ahead and check them all out and get your CPD once you've completed watching them. So thanks again for joining us. Kelly, great job. Thank you for joining us also.
Thank you, Mike.
And we'll see you. We'll see you all next time at the next episode, the next session here at our online auditor expo. So long.